Okay, this is the last section in chapter 1, and it deals with the coordinate plane. The coordinate plane is the definition. I'll just read it here. It says it's formed by the intersection of a horizontal line called the x-axis and a vertical line called the y-axis. The axes meet at point 0, 0, which is also called the origin, and is divided into 4 quadrants. So if you look right here, this is an example of a coordinate plane. So like they were saying in the definition, it's broken up into a horizontal line right here, which is called the x-axis, and a vertical line right here, which is called the y-axis. So if wherever the x and y-axis meet in this particular graph, which is right here, that is denoted as, they call it 0, 0, or the origin. So, and then we were talking about the quadrants. Quadrant 1, Quadrant 2, Quadrant 3, Quadrant 4. Quadrant 1 is always located in the upper right-hand corner. Quadrant 2 is located in the upper left-hand corner. Quadrant 3 is located in the bottom left-hand corner. And Quadrant 4 is located in the bottom right-hand corner. If you look over here, it's red that says that points in a coordinate plane are represented by what is called ordered pairs. And this is an example of an ordered pair. The first number, which right here is -2, is the number of what is called the x-coordinate. So the number from left to right, positive or negative. And the second number, which is denoted by 1, is considered the y-coordinate, which is the up and down value, whether it being positive or negative. So if you look closer into point -2, 1, you find this. So in order to find it, first you have to look at the point from left to right of the origin. Okay? If if the point is to the left of the origin, then our x value is going to be negative. If our point is to the right of the origin, then our x coordinate is going to be positive. In this case, it's to the left, so that means that our x coordinate is going to be negative. So we're going to go 1, 2. So it's -1 and -2. So that's why we get the -2 as our x coordinate. If you look at next the y coordinate, the y-coordinate is the up and down. So again, you look at the point, and if the point is above the origin, then our y value is going to be positive. If our point is below the origin, then our y-coordinate is going to be negative. So since this one's above, it's going to be positive, and it moved up just a positive 1. So that's where we get the coordinates of -2, 1. So from here, what I want to do is I want to give those letters a ordered pair on those coordinate planes. So take a look at number 1, number 3 in this problem. Number 3 is I want to find what coordinate A is. So coordinate A is located right here. So first we have to look at the x coordinate. That point is to the left of the origin, so that means I have to go, it's going to be a negative number, and it's going to be -1, 2, 3. So it's going to be a -3 in the x, and then the point is above the origin, so our y-coordinate is going to be positive. It's going to be positive 1, 2, 3. So our ordered pair for point A is negative 3, comma, 3. If I look at B here, which is right here, our point is to the right of the origin, so it's going to be positive, and it's going to be a positive 1. And also the point is above the origin, so it's going to be a positive in the y-coordinate, and it's going to be a positive 3. Now for C, which is right here, I look at it at the point, it's to the left of the origin, so it's going to be negative x value 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 5. And it doesn't go up or down on the origin, so I just leave it at 0. So if we look at D, D is located here, and it's below the origin and the x, or it's to the left of the origin on our coordinate plane, so it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, so it'll be negative 4, comma, and it's below, so it's 1, 2, 3, so it's negative 3. E, which is right here, so it doesn't go left or right, so I have to leave it as 0 as my x-coordinate, and it's below the origin, so it's going to add a negative 2. For F, which is right here, it's to the right, so that means it's going to be a positive x-coordinate, it's going to be positive 4. It's below the origin, so it's going to be a negative y-coordinates and negative 1. G, on the other hand, which is located right here, it's to the left of the origin, so it's going to be negative. And if you notice, it's in between negative 2 and negative 3. So when it's in between something like that, we can estimate. And I'm going to estimate that it's about 2.5. Negative 2.5 in this case. And it's above the origin, so our y value is going to be positive, and it's going to be a positive 2. Last one of these examples is H, which is right here. And here it's going to have, it's to the right, so it's going to be positive, which makes it a positive 3. And here again, it's in between two values, which is 1 and 2. So I can estimate, so my y value is at a positive 1.5. Next, I have to look at numbers 11 through 22. They're asking you two things. The first thing, they want you to plot the point in the coordinate plane. The next thing they want you to do is describe its location. So what I'm going to do for number 11 is I'm going to plot the point. So I'm going to find where 4, comma 1 is. So I go to the origin here, and 4, comma 1. So 4 is the x-coordinate. So that means I have to, and it's positive, so I get to go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1 is positive, and that goes up, so that means that 4, comma 1 is located right here. Now the second part of the problem is they want you to describe its location. And by describing its location, it can be, I think, 7 different things. Describing the location can be 7 different things. So it can either be in quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. It can either be located on the x-axis, it can be located on the y-axis, and it could also be located at the origin. So those are the 7 locations that a point could be on any specific coordinate plane. So in this case, it's in the upper right-hand corner, so I know that this is in quadrant 1. And here's another thing to think about, just when it looks like for x and y coordinates just for positive and negative, if both my x coordinates are positive, if both my x and my y coordinates are positive, it's always going to be in quadrant 1. If it's in quadrant 2, my x is going to be negative and my y is going to be positive. If it's in quadrant 3, my x is going to be negative and my y is going to be negative. If it's in quadrant 4, my x will be positive and my y will be negative. So that's another way to help you figure out which quadrant it may be located. Now what you're asking is, how do I identify if it's located on either the x or the y axis? So let's take a look at that. So let's look at example 13. 13 is at negative 3 comma 0. So that means that negative 3 is the x coordinate and it's negative, so it means it's to the left, which means it's located right here. And then it's at 0, so that means I can't move it up or down anywhere. So now the location of that point is along the horizontal axis, which is the x-axis. So I can say the description of this is right here. So anytime your y coordinate is 0, the location of your point is on the x-axis. So that means if you look at, say, question 17, which is 0 comma negative 5, and I go, so 0 coordinates moved in the x direction, and that means it's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4. About right here would be 0 comma negative 5. And that means that this one is located on the y-axis. So if our x coordinate is 0, that means that our location of our coordinate is on the y-axis. And then you can figure out, so like just look at number 12 without plotting it. I see that x is positive and y is negative. So that means that I go to x is positive, y is negative. That means that this one's in quadrant 4. So that's another little hint for you. And that is being able to solve problems using a coordinate plane. Hope this helps. Until next time.